welcome to Unity of London. I'm so used to speaking so loud. Anyway, welcome this morning. It was wonderful to see people just with smiles on their faces singing that song, We Are One. It's just what unity is all about. So thank you. And okay, thanks, Peggy. October's power is zeal. The color is orange. One of the founders, Charles, in his later years, said, "I fairly sizzle with joy, with zeal." And it's, Sylvia spoke last week on it. That's great. Next slide. Welcome home. Here at Unity, we welcome first-timers, returning guests, long and short-time members, and all friends on Zoom, and those who might be listening later in the week. We celebrate the spirit of abundance, love, and life in our community. And as we grow together, we learn the joys of giving as well as receiving from each other. We share stories of our spiritual journey together. And that connection leads to transformation and peace. You can join me, please, in saying the 5 principles. Number 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and in everyone. Number 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And number 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And the 5th principle, I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. And how do we make a difference? We make a difference by inspiring people to be a positive difference in the world. People with passion can change the world forever. And it is absolutely true. And it's like it can be practicing change by being a smile, a kind word, noticing someone who might be suffering or lonely, in pain, and taking time to listen. And all the different ways of helping out. And I'll tell you, at this Unity, we have many ways of helping out. I heard Carol this morning for volunteers, volunteering not just at Unity, but in the community, because we have members that are so active in that as well. To be the change. Coexist by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. And I'm reminded at this time of year, in many cultures, we celebrate Halloween with the kids, but it was All Hallows Eve, and there's Day of the Dead, and that's coming up this next weekend. And that's when we remembered our ancestors, those who went before, the gifts they left, and the life we have because of them. And that is really part of the coexist of all spiritual journeys and walks, so many, so diverse.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
That was the big preparation, the best preparation. Let's just go right now into prayer. Divine Source, we go to our center of being. We find you in busyness and in the every day, but now, in this stillness, we find you. We rejoice in the awareness of your presence in all life. We give thanks for your Spirit connecting us to all. To know and live out of that awareness, we are truly one. We thank you for the wisdom, strength, and love your presence gives to respond to suffering, to pain, to hunger, to war, in our world, in ourselves, in others. We take these silent moments now to whisper or silently name those persons and situations in our hearts. We remember in prayer Unity of Vancouver and Unity of York Study Group. We thank you for all that living as one with divine love is bringing into our lives. And so it is. Amen. And now I'm just going to, as a reminder, remind you that those on our hearts, those that we wish to pray for, we have a prayer box at the front, and it is, there are forms in the back of the chairs. You can just put a name of, or names of those that you wish prayed for. The prayer chaplains will pray for them for a week, and then we send them on to Silent Unity where they're prayed for longer. And we also have prayer chaplains available here. Today it is Pauline, and she has on the stole. She can be met in the fellowship room, and if you would like prayer in person, there's there, Pauline, and then we also have Wilda online. And then for everybody to know, there's the 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Unity was founded on prayer. It wasn't founded on a bunch of beliefs or stuff like that. It was founded on prayer, on connection, first by mail and then by phone. And the 1-800-NOW-PRAY is the number to use. So without further, I'm going to ask our platform leader to come up, Kate, and to introduce our speaker, Wendy Karr. Wendy's here today.
Good morning. The word for today is discover. As I discover, I learn and grow. My life is a journey of discovery. Over the years, I may have traveled to other lands, discovering new cultures and landscapes. Throughout my explorations, I have learned all kinds of things and grown in all kinds of ways. My spiritual life has been a journey of discovery as well. Through my spiritual practice, I have deepened in my understanding of God and of myself as a spiritual being. I have discovered new landscapes within myself as I have communed with God in prayer and have changed my life through the power of my thinking. As long as I live, I will find more to discover. Questioning, learning, and growing help me discover the wonders within and all around me. And from Jeremiah 33, verse 3, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." And this morning I have a great pleasure of introducing our speaker. Wendy Karr joined the Unity movement in 1984, becoming a licensed Unity teacher in 2000. In addition to speaking, she facilitates courses and serves on national and international ministry teams. At the 2025 Unity Canada Conference, she received the Northern Light of God Expressing Award. Congratulations on that, Wendy. She is honored to be with Unity of London today. I just meant to hold this up just quickly before we have our new daily words available for November and December. And take it away, Wendy.
Get me on? Ah, there we are. I'm on. I am on. Oh, I cannot begin to tell you how beautiful it was coming across today. It was gorgeous. So welcome to part 2 of Prosperity's 10 Commandments. And as some of you know, because you're in the group, the spirit group that I co-facilitate, that was our chosen subject for the fall term, was the 10 Commandments. So I got to tell you that what I was going to talk about today, when I was here last time, has actually changed because I've learned, I've grown, I've gotten more education and knowledge. So let's see. Oh, that's working. Okay. So what we talked about last week were the first 5 of the 10 commandments. And I did mention that they are available in the Bible in 3 spots. But the third one doesn't bear any resemblance to the other one. So I'm actually going to just kind of set that one aside because we kind of know the 10 commandments, I think. You know, we might not be able to rattle all 10 off, but we know, you know, don't commit adultery, you know, God is number 1, don't take the Lord's name in vain, things like that. And what Georgiana Tree West, who was a Unity minister, did was she converted it into Unity speak, into something that, even though in her book she kept the thou shalt nots, it gave us a way of looking at things a little differently. And I'm looking at them even more differently than I did a month ago. So that might tell you a little bit about what's been going on in my life. But the idea that we can convert the language into something that is positive, that we can convert the language into something that instead of beating us down, lifts us up, which is a really good thing right now. I don't know about the rest of you. My mom was a journalism major. And so I grew up with my mom, you know, with the newspaper out possibly too, and or the TV on. I mean, in the early 70s when I was in school, I remember coming home to no lunch waiting for me because she was glued to the Watergate hearings, and she'd be like, oh, you're home. Yeah, I learned how to cook. That was one thing that came out of that. So being in a time where I really don't want to know what's going on in the world has really shifted for me how I'm looking at these. And something that was pointed out at our group last week, or maybe the week before, I don't remember, doesn't matter, was that the first 4 commandments are about our relationship to God, however you choose to name that eternal, universal presence and principle. Notice I didn't say person, because Unity doesn't believe in God as a person up in the heavens in the sky with a book and long flowing robes and all that. Unity very much is a believer that God is a principle, that is something that transcends language, transcends culture, transcends time, transcends everything, and yet is part of everything. The true oneness. And last time I mentioned that in Unity, we use capital letters not just at the beginning of sentences, as is the custom for our grammar and syntax, but we will use capital letters for words in the middle of the sentence to indicate that we're talking about spiritual stuff. So when I say oneness, I want you to see that capital O at the beginning of it. So we ended with the 5th principle. I deal honorably with God and all God's pay clerks. And that's how someone has translated her language, and that's fine. But these next 6, 5 plus 6 through 10, are all about our relationship with each other, all about how we interact with each other. And I got thinking about this, and what came to me, and it was one of those, well, duh. I have a lot of those lately. I don't know if it's the change in the weather or what, but I'm having a lot of, well, duh. Of course that's how it is. And that is, I'm flipping into the Gospels. And what was that great admonition? Love thy neighbor as yourself, right? And I remember as a child, the emphasis was on loving the neighbor. But in Unity, we put the emphasis on loving yourself. Because if you're not loving yourself, your cup will likely be empty, and it will be difficult to love your neighbor. And in current circumstances in this world, sometimes it's kind of hard to love your neighbor. Just saying. It's part of the reason I'm not watching as much news as I usually do. So what I got thinking about was these last 6. How do we apply them to ourselves? And I want to focus on that instead of how we apply them to each other. Because as I just said, if we apply them to ourselves first, then it will naturally fall that we will act in that way, participate in that way, interact in that way. So I just want a quick touch on number 5. I deal honorably with God and all God's pay clerks. And that was about, and I talked about how that is how our treasure goes through the system and how it blesses everyone as it goes through. And I remember, now I may be unique in this, but there was a lot of pressure in my church of origin to sign that stewardship form every year and make that promise that I would, not only pay a certain amount every year, but that it would be greater than I had paid the previous year. And on the one hand, it was feeling very adult when I was 13, and I finally was old enough to have one of those stewardship forms and my own set of envelopes. But at the same time, there was a lot of guilt when I didn't have the money to put into those envelopes. And it would be very obvious that I was not giving of my treasure to the church. And that was something I struggled with when I first came into Unity, because in some Unity communities there is that idea of we are the entirety of the income. And I think sometimes we kind of miss the mark there and forget that God is the source and we are the channel. So I invite you to remind yourself that you are the channel. You don't have to look out there for the money, for the income, for the whatever it is you need, for the perfect garage for any repairs your vehicle needs, for the perfect home for you to live in that is affordable and keeps you warm and keeps you safe. But that it's about being in that consciousness of, and I know I mentioned this last time, how is none of my business. God will send, the Spirit will send, principle will enact. I think that's the best way for me to say it. Something that will happen. And I know I've told the story before, but it bears repeating. I was interviewed for a job once. It was the first job where I had a panel of 3 people asking me questions. I had never had that many people. It was usually the manager to whom I would be reporting, and that was it. So it was a 3-panel, and I thought I did pretty well. It felt pretty good when I left. And I didn't hear from them for 4 months. And I had to say to myself, what is this? What I couldn't see in the broad spectrum of all of time and space was that HR had messed up when that person was going to retire, that I was replacing. And so they had to wait until she'd retired for me to step into the position. And sometimes that can be difficult, that waiting for things to come into play. And it happens in our lives, and it happens in church life. I mean, I've spoken at London here when you were on Oxford in the party room of the seniors complex. And I spoke when you were, I know it wasn't on Exeter, but it was off Exeter Road, and then here. And I know that there were changes that happened, things that had to happen for all of those moves to happen. All right, oh, come on, don't tell me I jinxed myself here. Peggy, help, please. Thank you. I keep my wealth circulating wisely. It can be really hard to say no when you get a phone call or something in the mail that says, please send us money. And I remember somebody calling me and asking me if I would up my monthly donation, and I said, no, I won't. And they were kind of, I could almost hear their hackles going up through the phone. And I said, your organization is the only organization that does not directly benefit a family member. But I believe in your commitment to this project, and so I am willing to give you some money. And they kind of stopped. And I realized in that moment that, yeah, the wisdom for me was I didn't have to solve everyone's problems. Now give yourself permission for that one, because that can be a difficult one. I knew I wanted to keep some money circulating towards them because I truly do believe in the work they do. But I also recognized that I couldn't fund the whole thing myself. And when I said no, you know, the old me would have felt guilt. Current me said, no, this is my boundary. This is what I am willing to do. And I think sometimes we feel like we have to give and give and give and give. Anyone else getting Christmas ads already? I was like, are you kidding me? It's not even Halloween yet. Like in my books, you don't start Christmas until after November 11th. Like November 12th, I won't be too happy about it, but I'll tolerate it. But right now, are you kidding me? So it's about making those decisions. Asking our head, what is right in this? Our understanding and our wisdom and our willingness to participate. Asking our heart, is our heart in this? If I get to a point where that particular organization, I don't feel the same way about them for whatever reason, yeah, I will cancel my monthly and I will send that money someplace else. And it's not a threat, it's just a statement of the wisdom. And then I go in and I check my gut and I say, is this the right and perfect choice for me in this time? I saw soup on sale the other day. And it was a good price. And I was about to grab a whole bunch, and I watched my hand grab the can and look at the expiry date. There was no way I was going to eat 10 cans of soup within 3 days. Now, I know I probably could have, but that wasn't wisdom to me, because I know that my soup sits in the cupboard and doesn't get always eaten in a timely way. I got to be in a soupy mood. Secondly, I use my wealth for good purposes only. I think that one's kind of self-explanatory. And I want to add to it, though, and say, yes, and. Even for you guys, I'm going to probably get some flack from a few of you for this one. Giving yourself permission to go and have a pedicure and have your feet taken care of is a good thing. I know some people are like, oh, but no, your feet need to be taken care of. I have too many people in my family who can barely walk because they were in situations where their feet were not taken care of, and now they're walking with canes or walkers or possibly in a wheelchair. What is your good purpose? It may feel like a luxury item, but big picture, it might be something very important for your health and well-being. I never strive to get something for nothing. Oh, that's a big one. Especially in our social media era. How many videos do I watch that aren't monetized and I don't send a gift to the creator, especially other Unity centers? And I'm aware that that's something I need to work on. Guess what? I'm not perfect. If I were perfect, you just have this like glowing orb of light here, you know. I still am human, so there's still things I need to work on. And that's one of the things I need to work on. And I was in a call this week, and somebody asked, so when you teach a class, do you make all of your notes and PowerPoints available to the students? And almost immediately, speaking over each other on the Zoom call, one person said never, and the other person said always. And we all sort of went, oh, now that's interesting. Am I looking to get something for nothing? Am I giving away something for nothing? Because I'm blocking the ability to say, no, there is good in this for me. I remember being surprised, another duh, when a Unity minister reached out to me and said, hey, I heard really good things about this class you taught. Are you willing to share your stuff with me? I sent them everything, all the PowerPoints, all the links, all the handouts, the whole enchilada. I even gave her the link to my YouTube channel, so if she wanted to look at the recordings, she could. And she sent me $50 US. I was willing to just give it out. But I have struggled, because I think of our culture that is so focused on you have to give, on that being willing to receive, that being willing to be open and accept that you are worthy to receive. Little rabbit hole to go down. Anyone heard of Emily Cady? Few of you. Any of you heard of Lessons in Truth? Few of you. So Emily Cady was a homeopathic doctor in New York City who was following her own spiritual path. And in that spiritual path, she started publishing little tracts, because that's how information got out in those days. And eventually, it made its way to the Fillmores, and they approached her and said, would you be willing to put together some lessons that we can share with our students? And that became Lessons in Truth, which has been a core text of Unity for forever, since 1894, if my memory serves. And Emily never joined Unity. She never taught a class in Unity, and yet her material was so influential. And in her second book, originally titled Miscellaneous Writings, which became How I Use Truth, she talks about in the preface, you know, this is why you read the preface of books, because there is a golden nugget in that one about how she agreed that she would do her medical practice on a love offering basis. Talk about a step out in faith. And she describes how she was sometimes faint with hunger because people weren't paying their bills. And she took it into meditation, and then one day she had the revelation that she had never said, I now receive. As soon as she said that and felt it in her mind and heart, things started showing up. Not always cash. There was one couple that paid in eggs. Hey, I'm good for farm fresh eggs. You want to send me farm fresh eggs? I'm good for that. But she had that consciousness. And once she made that shift, she never wanted again. But we're so busy trying to make ourselves, okay, I'm so busy trying to make myself look good by donating myself out, by giving people my work. And every so often I have to stop and say, okay, universe, payment please. Because I need to recognize that I don't have to give it away. I can choose to. I can let go of what I get in return. But when I give things out in that consciousness, something always comes back to me, whether it is actual cash, or in one case, it was somebody calling me up and saying, hey, I want to talk to you because our minister used your material and it made me really excited, and I think I want to become a licensed Unity teacher. I said, hey, that's great, let's talk. And they're in the process. So it's about finding that way where you are of value and everyone else is also of value. I never talk poverty. I tell the truth about God's abundance. I remember one of my instructors saying, you know, here's how to defeat yourself with your affirmative prayers. Worry about your bills for 24 hours a day and then affirmatively pray for one. It can be difficult. I remember as a grad student, OMG, that was rough. That was challenging. I thought I had saved up more money than I had. But what I realized was the program that I was taking at University of Windsor, I was also taking classes in the States. And the economy was in such a place that I was paying $1.38 on the dollar. And funny thing, your money kind of goes a little less far when there's that exchange. And I really had to work on this particular one about affirming that I had plenty to do that which was mine to do. That if I was to have this degree behind my name, that the way would be made clear and that I would be shown opportunities. And I had some really weird things happen where, you know, I'm walking by a store that says, you know, help wanted. Now, I didn't get that job, but it opened my mind to the possibility that maybe I could balance a job while I was at school, because by that point I was just doing my thesis, and so I didn't have classes, I didn't have that structure. So I did find a job. And it fed me, not only in the physical sense, but also, to some extent spiritually. It was a bit of a challenge. It stretched my sense of prosperity. It can be hard, though, when earthly eyes are seeing lack and limitation, to affirm that there is abundance. And I get it. I get that there's, in my way, there's always that little voice going, but, there's no money in your wallet, but. And I got in a habit. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, used to always carry a 50-cent piece in her wallet, not to be spent, but just so that she always had 50 cents in her wallet. Now, she started doing that back in the 40s when 50 cents was, you know, was something. And I don't know that people would know what to do with a 50-cent piece in any event. But just to find ways of reminding yourself how prosperous you are and reinforcing that. Anyone else have stickies all over their mirror? A few of you? Yeah. Yeah, that was part of the reason when my late husband and I bought the house that I'm now in and he was in. We made sure we had 2 bathrooms. Because if both of us had our stickies on, you wouldn't be able to see anything. And then finally, come on, little, there, perfect, thank you. I take my eye off my neighbor's wealth. I claim my own. Thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not commit adultery. It kind of runs into both in my books. The idea that what is mine is mine. And what is someone else's is someone else's. And I have the right to say, this is mine. I have the right to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm finished with this. I'm going to pass it along. And thank you, Chuck, for helping empty my car. I brought some stuff down for the rummage sale. Most of it is from a friend who was downsizing because she's going to go and be with family in another province. But some of it was my own. And I walked into my kitchen and I said, okay, what haven't I used in the last 6 years? Why did I pick 6 years? Because that's how long my husband's been gone. So if I haven't used it since he passed, I'm probably not going to use it. So I brought 2 boxes of kitchen stuff. It's all in good shape. but it was about, I don't need, and it can be difficult, I don't need to have the latest set of jars on my counter. They just opened a Wayfarer outlet near me. I have not gone in because I don't want to. Not because it's tempting, but because there's a part of me that just goes, no, I don't need to redesign my house every year because someone says I do. I remember going into a shoe store. They had a sale on Birkenstocks. I love Birkenstocks. Those of you who've seen me in the summer know that. And somebody, I was looking at some pairs, and she said, oh, are you sure you want those though? That's last year and the year before's designs. Okay, I am clearly a little bit more on the spiritual side than on the commercialism, consumerism side. And I'm not saying that that is wrong or bad. Please do not feel guilt, shame, or blame or anything about that. For me personally, I'm very clear that I don't need to do that. I don't need to be up with the Joneses or whomever. I claim my good. I know that my good comes to me in ways that are often unexpected, are always wonderful, and sometimes surprise the heck out of me because I didn't know that I needed that or that I wanted that, and it pops into my life, and I say, wow, that was cool. So an example for you. If you're here, you can come and look at it afterwards. I had a friend out of the blue send me this wonderful, wonderful bracelet. Can you see the frogs? Or are they too sparkly for you? Too sparkly. And she included a little note saying, I'm done with the frogs. I know you'll give them a good home. I didn't know this existed. But I am so grateful that she in her wisdom realized that she was complete with it and that it was time to move along and find something else. I need to call her and say, so what replaced the bracelet in your life? So as I move forward, as we all move forward, I invite you to just make these ideas your own. And remember that you need to love yourself first, because you cannot. I've tried and failed and tried and failed. You cannot serve from an empty cup. So please take care of yourselves, love yourselves, care about yourselves. And I thank you for having me again today. All right. Time for the October affirmations. I got to say, Unity Village, they did such a nice job with the landscaping over the years that it is a beautiful place to be in the fall. It's a beautiful place to be anytime, but it's really the trees that they selected, and some of them are native to the land when it was still a farm. And it just is so beautiful. So let's just take a moment and find that space that we were in when Nancy so nicely left us through prayer earlier. It's always been waiting for us. We just have to open the door and walk into this oneness. And let us join together in our monthly affirmations. As is our custom, I will say it once and take a couple breaths, and then I will invite you to join with me. For inner peace. I cultivate inner peace through each breath I take. And together, I cultivate inner peace through each breath I take. For wholeness, I celebrate the expression of God through me exactly as I am. And together, I celebrate the expression of God through me exactly as I am. For wisdom. Attuned to my inner wisdom, I make decisions easily. And together. Attuned to my inner wisdom, I make decisions easily. And for prosperity, with God as my source, all my needs are met. And together, with God as my source, all my needs are met. And for world order, I give thanks for my place in a peaceful world. And together, I give thanks for my place in a peaceful world. And let us just take these 5 affirmations into our minds and hearts and into the silence. And if you so desire, I invite you to open your eyes and just review these 10 commandments reimagined for our prosperity. And let us join together. And so it is, and so I let it be. Amen. And thank you.
So yes, thank you, Wendy. Sparkle frogs. I'm going to check that out during fellowship. It's great. The reminders are wonderful to be wise in what we do. I remember when I was younger, hippies, whatever. Money was, evil and all this stuff. And then when I worked with the poor and the homeless and the unhoused, is the word we use now, money is choice, money is resources, and to use our heart, to go in and use our heart and our head to know where to direct those resources, that's huge. I was really appreciated that part of the message. And to live out of abundance. I remember abundance, it dances in the word. So thank you, Wendy. And thank you again. Okay, thank you. Okay, and we now have a song. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are
the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are
the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are
God. The face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
روح
God.
خدایی.
You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the
It is the sharing of our talents, time, and treasures at Unity of London that keeps us thriving as a community of spiritually uplifted people, united in love and fellowship. As Kate and Dave go through with the offering, we affirm prosperity and abundance. There it is, that message, abundance, for Unity of London and all communities, in all forms, in all realms, body, mind, and spirit. Not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Your donations can be made by check, MasterCard, Visa, or debit, using Tithely, which is a site online, or by e-transfer to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. So join me in saying the blessing together for prosperity, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And here come the announcements. All right. We have a new evening prayer meditation time on Zoom Tuesdays, 8 to 8:15. And also there is spiritual leader offices. This is really new and it's great news. Fridays, 1 to 3 p.m. That's in the front, right, Pauline? The front office? Yes. October is membership month. This is a reminder. There's forms at the back of the room. If you haven't initialed your membership form yet, please do it. You can join or update personal information by completing a membership form at the back. And you can send an email indicating your intention at unityoflondon@hotmail.com. Today's Sacred Circle, Chuck there in the front row, he will say from 12 to 1 to discuss and ask questions about spiritual matters, the message of the service, and it's an open forum. Everyone is welcome, and what's said in the circle stays in the circle, and many have been participating and find it really well. It's in the back, the little orange steps at the back of the room, and up in, oh, it's in here today, oh right, because the rummage stuff is in the Sacred Circle room, so it'll be in the sanctuary. Thanks. And there, speaking of rummage, there it is. It's happening on next Saturday, and you can speak to Carol if you're still willing to give time to volunteer to help out with that. If not, just show up and see what's happening there. We have had wonderful donations of items, household items, and baked goods. And if you can give a heads up to Carol too if there's anything special that you're wanting to bring. Okay. And Sunday, November 9th, is Volunteer Appreciation Day. You are invited to Unity for recognition certificates and light refreshments. Okay, I'm curious. Let's see what that is. Wednesday music nights. Now this is just such a blessing to have here. I can't give enough praise for Jim for doing all the work and all the friends of his, musical friends, mostly from the London area, some from a little farther afield. They are wonderful. And this coming Wednesday, October 29th, John Balone, Chuck Risser, with Lynn Devine and Deb Cordy. And those of you who have come before, you know this is a treat. It is amazing. It's only $10. Come, it's wonderful, please. And you can also contact Jim Chapman at rogers.com and make an online e-transfer. But Louise and Jeff are at the back door too. So now we'll say our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And now we're going to make a circle around the sanctuary and sing the peace song. Hello? Okay, this is the time when we take to those that wish to thank the speaker or have some comment about with a reflection to come and join with the microphone, as well as welcome our friends